Welcome back to Pop Culture Explosion. I'm Mike, and I'm with Paul.
Here at Pop Culture Explosion, we pay that, they increased the rates. What am I paying now, like $10 a month for Netflix? Well, we watch our Netflix, we see our movies, and Mike, what are we talking about today?
Today, set in a world where mystical creatures live side by side with humans, a human cop is forced to work with an orc to find a weapon for everyone is prepared to kill for. Will Smith in Bright.
Wow, the lamest intro ever. Yes, guys, we are talking about Netflix's 2017 Bright, starring our very famous and favorite Will Smith. And Mike, there are two other major actors in this movie, and who are they?
Joel Edgerton plays the Nick Jacoby, which is an orc, which is unusual, and Noomi Rapace plays Lila.
We've seen Noomi Rapace in our favorite Alien franchises, and
yes.
I was blown away when I saw her, and once again, she just gives a stellar performance. So, Mike, let's just dive into this. Was this on your radar?
Well, I watch Netflix a lot, and anytime something like this comes up, it's right in your face. It's advertised right there, so it was there. But more of the reason why it was on my radar is because everybody's talking about it. You were talking about it. My brother was talking about it. It's just a buzzing right now. So I didn't have any initially, interest in watching it until everybody else was telling me about it. You kind of have a little interesting how you came to be with this film.
This movie was like kind of at the very bottom of my radar. I saw a couple commercials and I'm like, yeah, that could be interesting. I watched the first 15 minutes of it and it just, I don't know. It felt like I was drinking sour milk and I just gave up immediately. And you know how I am with TVs and television shows and movies.
Yeah.
I saw a spoiler review from a YouTuber that I really respect, and he had a perspective that I thought was rather interesting. They talk about classism, they talk about racism, and whenever I hear about those isms, it generally rubs me the wrong way. But I liked his perspective, so I revisited the movie, and oh my goodness, I really enjoyed it. So Mike, let's talk about the things about this movie that we enjoyed and what we liked about it.
Okay, so for starters, I thought that this was a fresh idea, right? This is something I haven't seen before, where you take your typical stuff we're into, the Dungeons and Dragons, Lord of the Rings sort of. We got orcs and we got elves. There's mention of dwarves, fairies and all this stuff, and you just plop them in ghetto LA, modern day. You kind of blew me away. And at the beginning of it was just not suspending my disbelief. I was just trying to wrap my head around this thing. But after I kind of got acclimated and was in there for 20 minutes or so, I started to get into it. And I thought this was well paced.
And for me, it was a combination of they really mixed up the drama, the comedy, and the action. I mean, probably one of my best one-liners is, "We're in a prophecy." No, we're the stolen Toyota Corolla.
Yeah.
And I love that, a lot of these, buddy cop movies is there's generally some tension, but at the end of the day, they're friends. And 3/4 into this movie, the orc asked Will Smith, "Are we friends?" And he's like, "No." So I didn't feel halfway through that whole friend buddy cop thing, but I did detect that level of loyalty, and that was probably the most endearing thing for me with this movie.
Right, and you're right. I mean, they do touch on it's kind of like in your face with the racism and issues, and kind of parallel our culture today, especially, and so that's real prevalent in there.
I enjoyed mixing both the magic with the technology. I mean, we have this magic wand. Everyone is after this magic wand, and no one, only a couple people know how to use it. But everyone believes this magic wand will solve all their problems. And I just loved how we had the corrupt cops in there. We had the federal agency, the magic federal agency with them, and we just had the three elves that were just like ninjas. It was just an entertaining movie.
Right, and David Ayer, he's a director. He also did Suicide Squad, and you could really, I mean, I really enjoyed the action sequences in it. I thought those were really entertaining.
Now, Mike, there's also been some hate about this movie, and I don't see it. I mean, do you see why there would be some hate with this movie?
Well, there's going to be hate with every movie, but I could totally see that. But I particularly enjoyed it. I think it's like an acquired taste almost. I don't think a lot of people are ready for this type of movie. Netflix is just kind of throwing spaghetti at the wall here, and I think I even heard they were going to do a sequel to this.
They spent $90 million on this movie, and they've already greenlit a sequel.
Yeah.
I mean, the only reason why I could detect any type of hate on this movie is maybe the anti-SJW crowd. Because like I said, I get annoyed when I get hit over the head with all the isms, and there were a lot of them. I mean, we have the elves. They are the ruling class. The humans are kind of in the middle, and then the orcs are the lowest of the low. And you can see that throughout the course of the entire movie. And maybe that's come with a backlash, but I'm just grasping at straws on that one.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that's what it gives it some emotional weight. It gives it some substance. That okay, once you get that, that's the background, that's the world we're in, and now tell us a story. And the story was okay. I mean, it wasn't very convoluted or anything. I didn't think, but
well, Mike, let's wrap this up. Final thoughts on Netflix's Bright.
I enjoyed it. I would give it a 7 out of 10, and I would watch it again.
Same here. I'm around a 7 to a 6.5. Not the movie of the year. This kind of, like I said, slid under the radar for me. But once I sat down, once I enjoyed it, or once I watched it, I enjoyed it. And on a side note, my eldest daughter, Danielle, even texted me about it, and she loved it too. So, yeah, she's her father's daughter. So I would also give it about a 6.5, a 7. So, folks, this is it ended up being a spoiler-free review of Netflix's Bright. What are your thoughts on this movie? Did you like it? Did you did not like it? Did you enjoy this review? If you did, smash that like button. If you didn't like it, you know what? Hit the dislike button. We get it. And hey, let's continue the conversation below. And if you do any of those things, you will have your very own wand delivered via Amazon this time tomorrow. So, Mike, with that being said, peace out.